crazy week last week, and I think today I can share why. It's like also a personal announcement. I'm moving to Paris, basically, so I've been
Ooh.
very busy with prepping that up. So yeah, those were my last couple of weeks, but now it's I signed the lease for the apartment. We're gonna move in, and yeah, things are finally starting to settle. How about you?
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty big news. Like any move that's even across town is a lot, but a move to another country is a lot.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you probably know how it is to schedule a move, and lots of things that have to fall into place. Plus, the hardest thing is moving my cat, weirdly, because uh, you have a lot of paperwork to do when you're moving outside and inside the UK, and we can only travel by plane with her, so where I'm gonna have to go there first, get the keys, and my wife and my son are gonna come with the cat afterwards by plane. So it's a whole thing, but the operation is going well so far. So I think the important details are are settled. But yeah, it's an adventure.
And the Olympics start on the 26th of this month. So
Yeah.
you're doing it at a very difficult time, I imagine.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I was expecting it to be like further into autumn, but we found an apartment. It went well, and figured why not? It's a good time before the Olympics. It's probably gonna be wild. I mean, Paris is kind of wild right now. I've seen on the news that they're like rioting about the elections, but it's good. I'm enjoying the pulse of the city.
Nice.
Plus,
Yeah,
it's a
that'll.
quiet area I'm moving in. Fortunately, it's one of the reasons I'm moving in the first place. So
How long have
that's
you
good.
lived in London?
5 years now,
Okay.
so it's gonna be a big change, but hopefully a good one. I
Nice.
mean, I'm sure it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited about Paris. You've been to Paris, right?
Only once, and I got food poisoning while I was there, so it wasn't and it was like 36 degrees and raining the entire time. So I think anytime I go back, it'll probably be a better experience.
Yeah, better than that, definitely. Yeah, food poisoning in Paris. That's like the French are supposed to be good with cuisine. I never got it while I was there, so hopefully next time around, you're definitely gonna have a better one.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be exciting. Uh yeah, um, yeah. I think we've lived here in Salt Lake for 6 years, so we're about at that same 5 6 year span. But I don't think we're planning on moving. We renewed our lease until at least next summer, so but we're kind of taking it year to year. Like maybe there will be a housing crash and we'll be able to afford a house. I mean, either that or we'll just continue to rent, which we've honestly really liked not having to worry about a yard and all the additional maintenance that comes with owning a house. And in Paris, I'm assuming you're going to be in an apartment again, right?
Yeah, but it's right next to a park, so I'm excited about that as well. And we'll probably like go there a lot. And there are like two balconies, like one big and one small. So I'm hoping to set up a little like plant space. I'm big with plants, as everyone can see in the back. So yeah, but. It's the same. I mean, having this flexibility helps. Uh, yeah.
Oh,
And
that'll be fun.
today it's hardcover number 50, so we're also hitting that milestone. I'm excited about that as well. 50 weeks.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
I think this has been like a really fun way of just like building in public. Like whoops, I fidget and I'm like spin my ring as I'm talking. Uh, yeah, it's been a fun way to just kind of like iterate and just like be accountable for what we're working on. So I've really liked these build sessions. I think it was definitely a good idea that you had to start these. I've really liked it.
No, yeah, and 50, but like us having the commitment to do this every week, well, apart from the weeks when we're gone on a vacation. Here we go. Uh, it's
I'll stick to a fidget
been.
spinner.
Oh, you have one of those. Uh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm also hoping that it's proof to everyone out there that we're committed to building this, and we're building it out in the open. And there's so much feedback we've gotten through this build sessions, and I think it's also nice to you know build stuff live. I've also been enjoying like the actual us working on the design while other people are watching part. So it's been really well. Usually when you're working, you're not like saying stuff out loud, you're not explaining the process. I think
Hmm.
this is an opportunity for people to get a glimpse into how we're thinking of building hardcover. Because we have to talk while we're doing these things. So we've been doing this for 50 weeks, so we're probably gonna do it for a lot weeks more. So for anyone who's like scared about, oh, maybe hardcover is not gonna be here next year. Well, we're here after all this time, so we're probably gonna be next year and
Yeah.
next year and next year, until we uh, build out what Goodreads couldn't be.
Yeah. When it comes to like that like working alone versus working with someone in like the programming world, there's a concept called like rubber ducky programming, which it's kind of like you're working on a feature and you're just like I want to describe and talk through what I'm working on. And kind of the idea is like if you're describing it, even if you're describing it to a rubber ducky, it's gonna cause you to realize things that you didn't realize if you were just doing it in your head. So I have this rubber ducky corgi on my desk.
You actually, wow, look at that. Wow, it's a rainbow rubber corgi ducky.
Yeah, it's from a Learn by Jason. He it's like one of his merch things, and it also acts as a watch stand when I'm programming. So I usually just
Oh,
like
look at that. Oh, it fits perfectly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it really helps. That looks like something that's been generated in the journey.
It kind of does. But yeah, it's yeah, having that like someone to bounce things off or even just like stating yeah, it makes what you're working on better. So yeah, I feel like these sessions have definitely made hardcover better. Yeah. And speaking of that, um, for what we're going to be talking about today, so yeah, we've been working or I've been working on the progress updates that you designed and that we've done in a couple sessions on. Those are getting pretty close. I think we've kind of like nailed out, hammered out the rest of the like parts that need to be updated. Probably the only one I still need to figure out is updates to the book button part for updating progress. And the thing we're going to be talking about today, which is the reading journal. And as I was like working on progress more and more, I'm realizing like every time we're saving a progress update, we're updating a field that sets your progress, but we're not like saving that in sequence. So we don't know like how far you were last time. And we had like other things that could be on a reading journal, like for one, like your notes for a book. Like as you're reading it, you want to take notes, or maybe you want to save some quotes. And then there are things that happen on the platform that could be added to your reading journal, like you saved a book to your library, you were referred to read a book, you finished a book, you rated a book, you added a book to a list. All of these things right now we have the feed, which is kind of like a generic like timeline of everything you've done on hardcover. The journal is kind of like your feed for a specific book that you can add things to whenever you want. And yeah, I think today we're going to be trying to kind of create an MVP of it that hopefully can go out this month. So we're kind of just trying to fast track it and get it out ASAP with the progress updates.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty amazing because now with the edition switcher, we have more control over that, and I think one of the big parts, I mean, the biggest part, I guess, that hardcover started with is the actual part of book tracking and actually registering your progress, including impressions and quotes you want to save while you read. I think that would be maybe not the last step, but I think one of the most important, like, final steps in assuring that complete tracking experience, where we can also do the notes tracking. And I'm excited because it's also gonna set the field up for comments, discussions, but further down, the line, because you probably, I mean, discussions would probably be like a super, this reading journal, but shareable and way more complex. Uh, this one is the part just for you, which for most people might be like the most interesting thing, since it's your experience with that book. And it's not just I began reading this, I finished reading this. It's like all those moments in between. I've often found myself wanting to save quotes, and I just did it through notes or through Notion at some point, but that didn't stick. So, or like, sometimes I did this, and I'm sorry for all the readers who consider this like a sin, but I bent the corners on the pages that I wanted to remember. So that's that. I'm gonna use hardcover so for that if I can save some quotes. So yeah, that's gonna be good.
Very cool.
Yeah. How about you? Do you usually like to save some impressions or quotes while you're reading something, or just like some references?
I feel like I don't have a good place to do it. Like I've tried saving things in Notion. I've tried like adding things to just like notes app. I even tried using Readwise for a little while, and they have a pretty good system. But it felt like it was just like another thing I had to keep track of. And so having it with the book info that I already have, like the dates I started it, the progress updates I'm making, it seems like that's the best place for it. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this impacts my note taking and quote saving for books. Um, and I think for that to work, even for me personally, it's going to have to be like just super easy to save a new note. Like I feel like lowering that barrier to it, like when I'm reading a book and I want to save a note, it needs to be like I need to be able to do it in a minute and get back to the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great way to start this, because let's just try to, I guess, iron out all those steps, or like see what we should do to make that note taking like really easy. I'm guessing we can jump in Figma and start sketching it. If
Yeah,
uh,
sounds good.
Great. Let me share my screen over here real quick. So prepared. Like, we're on the reading journey, as we called it when we last designed it. So we've uh, made like a prototype when we're talking about discussions for these. Let me hide the grid. So this was like mm, way to update the progress and add notes that people would be able to like, that they be able to like do all of these things on. I think what we're going for now is basically like a way to describe it, making notes easy so that it's like a simple version of this, because right now we're just going for like a couple of updates that are automatic plus your manual entries, where you'd be able to save quotes and I guess notes. uh, Maybe that's a good starting point. What do you think, apart from quotes and notes, you should be able to save with the journal?
I think that would be all that come to mind for like manual things. I think everything else might be like an automated action that's in the system. Like you started reading, you updated progress. Those ones you aren't going and creating a journal entry, but something happening on hardcover is creating a journal entry for you. But yeah, I think notes and quotes would probably be the two ones that stand out for now for me.
Nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna. Uh, I think we can remember notes and quotes. So I'm thinking, the way you described it, making note taking easy. You'd basically like start the app, and you'd probably go to your currently reading, right? Or where would be like the first place you'd go to add a new note? You'd have to see the books you're reading right now, right?
Yeah, I think the the ideal use case is, yeah, you open the hardcover app, you click on your library, and on there you see like some books that you're currently reading, and on there you could click and somehow either take a note on that page, or it would take you to another page where you save the note. And I think to me, since notes are such a like text heavy thing, it makes sense to do it on another page. But then again, I
Mm-hmm.
also like the idea of like a quick note, which is just like a modal that comes up and takes over and doesn't even require you to leave the page.
That's interesting. Yeah. So basically, like you'd have your currently reading, and you'd be able to add a new node. Over here, I'm wondering. Let me grab the update progress thing we did
Oh yeah.
uh, over here. So you're currently reading, and whoop, here we go. Sorry, buddy, for moving like that fast. Uh, so we did this where, it was a prototype where you could update. This was similar to the components that we made with the slider, where you choose your edition and it would be done through the book button. I'm wondering if, uh, so you're seeing your currently reading books, you tap one, and maybe would it make sense to go through the book button the way you'd add a note? And so you're currently reading this book. Do you see it as a sub action of currently reading? So you're currently reading it and you want to add a note or a quote. Would you
Yeah,
see it from happening from there?
yeah, that's a good question. Like what what would kind of make sense to me is that the book button. So yeah, I guess there's two options. Like one is that like on the currently reading section of the page of the letter list, which I think you're about to show. Like if you zoom in on
Yeah.
like the progress card,
Where's the
or
progress card? It was somewhere over here. Or no, it was under update
oh
progress.
yeah,
Wait just a
yeah,
minute. Here we go. So we are somewhere over here. So
right, yeah. So like somewhere, so like this is what it would look like. Something like this would be on your currently reading list. We've changed this up a bit, but the gist
yeah.
is still here. So the question is like you're looking at a page of this and you want to add a new note for this book that you are reading right now. So I guess two things that come to mind for me. One is that from the book button, you either can add something that pops up a modal, or you have a link that takes you to your reading journal page, and that's where you add it,
Yeah.
or
Where would
you
you
do it from here
yeah.
by itself.
Yeah. And that's what I was trying out. If we put a new note button over here, uh would it be like, I'm guessing it could even be on the currently reading page, and it could have like all your progress showing like underneath the book. So it would just, I mean, if you'd share a note, you'd let's say page B. So you're reading a physical book, and you are here, page 231, and you can see your notes maybe underneath here. So this is a note, and then you could have like another note, and maybe you could have one of those lines for the progress. I know you patented these lines when we worked on this before, so okay, it's already dashed. Ah, here we go. So this is a note, and this is a note, and this is a note, and this is a quote. Maybe it has, maybe we can like do an icon for notes and quotes, but yeah, let's see. What do you think about something like this? Is it too much?
No, I kind of like it. It's like the currently reading card is one where like you're actively reading this book, so it makes sense to show a bit more than you would see if it were like just your read books list, which shows thousands of books potentially. This one's probably only going to be showing a couple of ones that you're in the middle of. Um, but yeah, we probably don't want to show every single journal entry, so there's probably going to be some cutoff where we like link them to their journal page after like 3 entries or something like that.
Oh yeah, let's see how that looks like. So this is a note, this is a note, this is a quote, and then you'd probably have a, like a see all or something like that. Boom, boom, boom. And uh, see, or
Yeah, I was just looking at something we did a couple months ago for the progress. What is it? The prompt reasons,
oh yeah, yeah, that's a
which
good
is
one.
like
Here we go.
this. Mm,
Put this
oh,
over
thank you.
here. Here we go. Move these
And
to make
it
space.
seems it seems like it's going to be somewhat similar to that, which is like this was the thing where like you're someone saves a book to a prompt, and this is like
Ah,
why
here we
people
go.
saved it to a prompt. We could
Yeah,
do something with this for your reading journal as well.
yeah. Let's put in like 23 more, 23 notes, and you can just go there. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like this. What do you think?
Yeah, I think overall this is good. I think like there's going to be some that don't have a page number, so it makes me think like yeah maybe like having the page number not be left aligned, because some of them
Mm,
might be like
yeah,
started reading or saved to
yeah,
your
exactly.
library.
Maybe we can put it here. Ah, it looks even better.
Yeah,
Some of them are probably gonna be like, I mean, we either did this. Uh, let's say here you have a longer note and it cuts off over there. So we could do this, or we could just have them on multiple rows.
yeah, I think limiting it is a good idea because otherwise like this
Yeah.
could get really long.
This could be pages long. Yeah. I guess you only need at this point, you only need a snapshot to know what that note is about. And this would show maybe the last three notes or quotes that you've added.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. And then maybe clicking on any of these rows would take you to your journal and like shift you down to that entry on the page.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Would Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to like have an individual note page, right? Mm,
No, yeah, I think it's good
yeah.
having a like a listing page for all of your journal entries on a specific book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is pretty good. That
Yeah.
was fast.
I feel like things get easier when we're like iterating on things we've already done. Like that was I
Yeah.
mean this just makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's a good pattern. I mean, we figured it out over here. So, if I'm a fan of repeating like stuff that can be reused because it's predictable to someone. So, if we're using this for prompt reasons and using it for notes as well, it's a familiar pattern. So, I
Yeah.
think people are gonna like this.
And for this, would you see it as the most recent notes you entered first or last? Because with the new note at the
Hmm.
bottom, it makes me almost think that like this quote
Yeah.
is like the most recently added one.
So this is 2023 and 2026. Yeah, probably like first one last. I mean, last one last.
Yeah. I it makes me wonder
Yeah.
if we should have like a first entry and then like a dot 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 and then like the last three. But then again, that adds a lot more like that adds two more rows potentially.
Well, we could do that. I mean, it can go. Uh, I'm not against like having more stuff vertically because people scroll. So we could have. So let's say these three. Wait, let me select all of these and like another one on top, right? Let's see, this is like quote on
Yeah.
page two.
Maybe this first one's like saves saved as want to read. And
Oh,
then
okay.
so this is like a system event rather than a manual one. So it's kind of like maybe it looks a little different.
Oh, okay. So you have like the day you started. Maybe we should like select like the relevant ones because I'm thinking, started reading is maybe more important than saved as
Yeah.
want to read.
Yeah. Yeah. That would, I could, it would be like the most recent started reading one.
Yeah, and then we could have this, or maybe we could like ditch this and yeah, basically do this. And
Mm-hmm.
so it starts from here, and we have all the system events like in between, like this. So they break this line, and the notes are just like stuff that's in between. So you started reading, and then when you mark it as finished, yeah, basically you get this. Wait, oh, god damn it, I can't select this little line. Ah, here we go. Yeah, so we save a little space as well. And mm,
Yeah. I think something
um,
like that could work. And then if you never, yeah, like this would only show up on your currently reading page. So it would always have a started reading for this context,
mhm.
which would work. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and this can be like on the individual like journal page as well. This whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
but with expanded notes, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I like having the like context of like, this is a read through, and these are the things that you did during this read through.
Yeah. Let me see if I. Oh, crap. Okay, it's just up down. Uh, I was thinking, if it's worth like expanding this, like if you want. you know, if you hover on the line, I think we did it for um, some discussions, uh, some of the discussions items. So you could expand it from here if you wanted, but nah, this, I mean, it's just a detail. Let's leave it.
Yeah, yeah. And I was thinking like one of the one of the things that I guess we can maybe decide today too is like if we want to call this a reading journal and all of these journal entries, or if this is like a reading journal and these are notes, like for should we
Yeah, that's a good one. I guess it would be if it's a journal, maybe entries is like a better term. So you add a new entry, and that entry can be either a note or a quote, or it can be like a thought.
yeah,
Maybe we
because
can,
that makes sense because
uh,
in the future we might have additional journal types.
yeah, you could have maybe we can tie it in with discussions as well later, or we can like make the discussions basically version of this that you'd want to share with the world and start a discussion about. uh, is there any thought bubble here? Thought. Okay, no, let's just leave the comment. I was looking for one of those clouds. Okay, yeah, exactly. New journal entry. Okay, yeah, I didn't even realize that's what you were talking about. It said note there. Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
we have
it's
lots of space in there, so why not? Yeah, let's. That feels more natural than notes. Maybe a note is a thought you're having, so we basically want people to, as they're reading, share their thoughts on the book or save something from there. So yeah, this feels more natural.
yeah. Uh, Maria in the chat asked about like being able to find notes by chapter, and I was thinking right
Mm,
now we don't have a concept of chapters for each edition, which would make that a little tricky. But we do have concept of pages for progress. So it would
yeah,
only I think that would only work if like as part of the note creation form, like we ask people what chapter they're on or something like that.
yeah. Maybe that can be a field that's left open because many chapters have names. That would be a way for us to gather info about chapters as well. I'm not sure if we should save that as book data or not, but if someone wants for the reference to save their chapter, because right now we don't have chapter data. I wish we had, but maybe
Yeah.
making it into a field that you can just like fill in and not just have like chapter 1, 2, 3, but actually have a name for it or a number if it's just like a number chapter, like maybe you'd have it in Roman letters or something. Maybe that could be uh I wouldn't show it
Yeah.
here though. I would show it in the extended uh, journal for that book. So
Yeah.
when you go here,
Yeah. That makes
so it
sense, I
would
think.
be like, let me like quickly mark this up so you'd see this. This would be like expanded note. This is a note. This is a note. This is a note, and you'd see like the chapter, and you'd be able to like name of chapter.
Yeah. That would be kind of whatever you entered as the chapter descriptor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe later we can like make this into a book data gathering thing. So if there's a chapter, if we have chapter data on that book, we just show the let you select the chapter maybe, or do kind of like a select or add your own chapter, kind of those combo boxes where you can like type in and search, and if it's there you choose it, if it's not there you just like input a new chapter. But until then, we can just save it as a custom field, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now the journal entries table, the way I'm doing it there's a field that's just called metadata, and that one contains
Mhm.
additional metadata for whatever context that journal entry is being added for. So, for instance, if someone saves a book to a list, we would add a journal entry that says, like, oh, you saved Iron Widow to list with title this. And that would all be in metadata rather than as like a text thing that says you saved this book. The metadata would say, like, the event type for that journal entry would be save to list, which is like a constant.
Mhm.
And then the metadata would include like the list ID, the list slug, the list name, everything needed to generate a link to that list and and complete that journal entry in code, but not have the text hard coded.
Yeah.
Aside from the title of the list, which I guess we could like look it up and get the current title if the list changes, but I think like just generating it with that metadata is probably enough.
Yeah. And the chapter name, I'm guessing, could be a part of that metadata.
Exactly. Yeah. That would be a
Nice.
metadata that someone adds for an, a journal entry of type note or type quote.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, would there be like any other fields in that data you'd want to save? I'm thinking about maybe mood, but I'm not sure. So you're reading a book, you've read like a section of it, and you want to like log in that entry, you write about it. Would it be like useful to have a mood attached to your note, or would that be like too much
Hmm.
specificity, I guess?
Yeah. Interesting. Because we probably need the quotes and the notes to have like a spoiler. To me, mood
Mhm.
is also a potential spoiler since, you know,
Yeah.
if you're sad and because a character just died,
Yeah, exactly.
it's a yeah.
Yeah.
So we
This,
probably do
yeah.
need a spoiler entry.
Yeah. So we should add the, we had like this I slashed. How is it? I. So if this is a spoiler, we can just mark it as spoiler. So would it go into the metadata? So
Yeah, I think having
maybe
it in
it's
the
just
metadata.
like a toggle that you select, right? Or yeah, I'm guessing you wouldn't select the text that's a spoiler. The whole like entry would be a spoiler.
Yeah, because if we use our current editor, people could select what part of it's a spoiler. But if we use just plain text here, then it would be on the field as a whole, which I think is the easier way to go for this instead of trying to use our editor that we use on the review page. Like I'd love to get us there, but I think for
Yeah,
like for starters, not storing things in that elaborate format is a important.
yeah. And this
Oh,
would basically
yeah,
be like the page that you updated here. So you have to update progress and then make a note. Or would you be able to select the page when you're making that note? I'm guessing we should actually like maybe start figuring out the editor for this.
yeah, good
Actually,
idea.
let me just move all of this into where we have more space over here. Reading journey. Okay, let's just like delete this up.
Yeah,
So we'll have we have this. Uh,
so maybe for there, like this link you have here for new journal entry, maybe we can have like quick add journal entry or something like that, and that would be like I like the idea that like quick add means like it's going to be on this page. You're not going somewhere else. It's in a modal, and then like if we had a concept of like add a journal entry, that would take you to the journal page or somewhere else. But
okay, so this would actually be a field, right? Where you could add a new journal entry, and it would just show up here as the last one, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I guess
Mm-hmm.
it depends on if we want this to like expand this down and have the field form be here within this box or within a modal. And
That's a good question.
I'm leaning
Uh,
more towards modal. I feel
yeah,
I feel like we kind of went like very anti-modal at the start, and I'm like coming around to it more lately.
yeah. This is a long note. I'm just trying to see like how long the note. I mean, people write long notes. Then again, I'm not gonna do that actually. People tend to write long notes, so I'm thinking, yeah, I'd lean more towards a model as well because people might write. I mean, it's likely that they will write a lot of text over here. So I'm guessing. Oh, what they do there? So I'm just trying to paste something here. It's not working. Okay, let's just put it like underneath and figure it out later. Uh, so yeah, let's go for model. I'm thinking.
Yeah, and especially on mobile, like the modal will be. I think the modal will be a lot better on modal to mobile and modal. Those are two very similar words. On mobile, the modal will take over the entire page, and so it becomes kind of like you haven't left the page you're on, but you have a form to start typing. So I'm imagining for someone who's reading a book and they want to take a note, they open the app, they click on library, which takes them to the page where they see this, and then they click quick add journal entry and it opens a modal. So they've had to open the app, click twice, and they're already in the edit page of a new journal entry, which
I
is
think
I
that
think
yeah,
that's fast. I mean, 2 clicks is
yeah,
about as good as you can get.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you're yeah, exactly. I think it's good enough
Mm,
that you'd be able to use it anywhere. So I'm guessing a scenario would be you're reading like the most mm, extreme scenario would be, or not extreme, but where you'd want to add something real quick. You're on the train, you are reading a book, you find something that you like, you just want to like quickly write a quote. You open the hardcover app, 2 taps in the app. I think that's like easy
yeah.
enough. You'd be able to do it
Yeah.
in yeah.
And as Maria mentioned in the chat, once we have a dashboard, it might only be one click.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking, that it would be a good idea to like let people land on their currently reading. But yeah, that's true. Like, thanks, Maria, for pointing that out. If
Yeah.
we actually put this on the dashboard, you could just like do this because you'd land on the dashboard. Right now, I think the first page you see when you open the app is the trending, right?
hmm Yeah. I think once we get
So
dashboard, we'll probably switch from trending to dashboard.
yeah, definitely. That's gonna be like a very good change. I was gonna like select. We had a model. Like, let me see where it was. I think it was this one over here. So it was
Oh
the
yeah.
add edition model. So let me just like paste that over here. So uh, copy it. So we have a reference. So this would basically with the cover as well and add new journal entry. Basically, the this with a text field, a long text field, write a new entry or something like that, and yeah, just make it like way bigger than that.
Yeah.
And
So let's
then
see.
a button.
We
Let me
need
fetch a button. Da-da-da-da.
entry type.
So save entry. Do, do,
We
do, do.
need pay progress page
So
percent.
this would be like a plus circle or Save. Uh, add entry. Save entry. Uh, yeah, maybe save is add is better than save because save kind of
Yeah, an entry sounds good for that.
yeah. Should the page be editable or should that depend on the edition?
I think I think it should be editable. Maybe we can, yeah, because it needs to be, yeah, it's kind of like the same progress as for the progress updates. It's like if it's an audiobook, it's going to be a duration. If it's physical or an ebook, it's going to be a page number, and from that
Mm-hmm.
we're going to generate a percentage. So it kind of just feels like all the same stuff we're doing for progress updates.
Okay, so you won't like have to update the progress first and then add the journal entry that corresponds to where you're at. We're gonna redo the same like component here, which allows you to set a page if you haven't like updated your progress. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
and I think this will, like when you click add new journal entry, this will default to the page that you're currently on, and then
Okay,
you can,
okay, yeah, and you can change it. Yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense. So we should have like chapter, which would be optional. Maybe we should write optional. Just make it easy. And privacy. Let me fetch the privacy from the book button. Whoop, 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 whoop.
oh yeah,
Did we have anything? I think we had a different thing here. Was it like public follows and private? Oh, that was it, right?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
and
So that
which I,
should be before add entry, right?
yeah, I think, yeah, I think these are all the fields we need. Aside from some distinction of if this is like a note or a quote,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because right now, like I'm thinking that
True.
if it's a quote, then
Yeah.
the assumption would be that everything you write in the entry is a direct quote from the book. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
not adding any context to it. How people use it will determine if that is true or not.
Yeah, exactly. uh, should it be um, like a selector or toggle?
I actually could see it kind of like we had it on discussions.
Hmm?
Like we
How so?
had,
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Entry type.
let's see,
Wait.
yeah, we had,
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Where was it on
oh, I got it. I'm
discussion?
copying it over.
Here we go.
We had this thing,
Yeah, come.
which was
Mm-hmm.
like, whoops, yeah,
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. So this would basically be uh, just a quote or a note or a link. Should we allow links? Ah,
yeah.
okay.
And what
So
if it were just like up here, like on top of
yeah,
the entry, and that
like
like changed the tab? It was like, if that made sense.
yeah. Let me just make this gray and quote. Since it can be like only two things, yeah, definitely can be. Uh, you're thinking not in the um okay, like way up top
I was I was thinking,
or just in the corner,
yeah, I was
maybe.
thinking like that, and then
Yeah,
we could even make this like, well, that's probably good enough. Yeah,
yeah, we can make it into like this. Like we had it on the edition. Let me grab the edition picker. We had something neat going on there where you could toggle. Here we go. Whoop. This. Maybe something like this would work better. I don't know.
Mm.
So, wait, what have I done here? So it's a note. Oh crap. Let me see. So we have like 0, 0. Get rid of the auto layouts. Sometimes it's more useful if you don't have it. So it's there a note, and you have it in the highlight color, up, or quotes, and we have it in a non-highlight
So it's like
color.
a is that called like a button pill bar or something like that?
I yeah, I don't actually have a good name for it. I guess it's like a. I just call it a tab, but
Yeah, I think it makes it easy enough to understand what's going on, and it highlights the one that you have selected in a way that
yeah,
like makes it makes it easy to understand that there's another option. I think one of the big things I struggle with the toggles that are just like on and off toggles is
yeah,
like sometimes they're off and I'm like, is this on or off? I feel like
exactly.
this is a lot clearer
Yeah,
that
and
note
what's
is
on and
selected.
what's off. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Here we go. Yeah, this is looking good. Maybe the icons a bit smaller since it's just supposed to be a quick selector, and yeah, I think these are big enough so you can like toggle between each one pretty easily. So you can write a new entry, you can do this, and with this, you can submit the chapter. Maybe we can even make this like a bit, or yeah, let's just make it maybe you want to write like a lot, and this we can even do this on desktop where we just and let's just make it bigger. Why not? We have space, so it's just like yeah. The thing with modules is that they have to be accessible. The only like models I have trouble with are the ones that are so small that they don't allow you to do anything. But that's like
Yeah.
let's just like make this a bit more.
I think
Hmm.
I think uh I think we could put these on separate lines. I'm thinking like
Yeah.
my mind always goes to that like bottom right corner being where the or even like the entire bottom being where the add button is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Now it seems a bit too wide, so let's just try and see how it looks like if we just
Mm,
like do it like this. This. What do you think? Maybe a bit more
yeah.
balanced.
Yeah. Let me see. Let's see.
There we go. Yeah.
Let's see. Is there anything else we need on here that we're not thinking about? Maybe we can look at our previous journal entry
Yeah.
listing page and see what
Look
comes
at
up.
this.
Yeah.
So what do we have here? So we have when it was added, but I'm guessing this is like a thing we can um do on the like journal page itself. So we could
Yeah.
have this. Um if it's a quote, we had like the character that said the quote here, but I'm thinking maybe, you could just write it out. Or,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. That's a tricky one because I think before we were thinking about having the ability to like have a in the form like you would add multiple characters that were mentioned in the quote.
mm-hmm.
So if we did that, it would almost be like we would have to have a section where it's like a field and you start like typing a character name and it auto completes it and then it adds that as like a character mentioned in the quote.
Yeah, that seems a bit complicated for this stage. So if our goal is just to keep it simple, maybe just leave that. But
Same. Yeah.
yeah, um, there's not a lot of. What did we mean by general settings? Ah, well.
Oh, right, because I think we had the idea of like the journal as a whole would be public, private, or
Oh
friends
yeah,
only.
true. Yeah, I
And
think this is better.
yeah,
Like,
I think the way we're thinking about this is that the journal as a whole doesn't have a privacy setting. It inherits the privacy setting from your account. So there's a there's already a setting on your account which is like default activity setting, and all of your journals would be set to that setting for all of the actions that you take, um, or they would use the whatever setting you have for this book. So like if you've set this book to be private, then the journal
would yeah.
entries would be private too. Yeah,
But if you want to share an entry and you want it to appear in the feed, maybe we can already allow that. So if your settings are on private, but you have something that maybe you want everyone to see and you set like one entry to public, would that work? Just putting that entry as a public entry?
yeah, I think that would work. Like I see it as like on on hardcover we have this. Let me share my screen for a sec.
Yeah.
Um, so we have this option. So in your account settings, you have account privacy settings and engagement settings. And I think this account privacy settings, this is the setting that we use for everything that goes out in your feed right now. So if you have this as public, then all your feed items will be public as well. I think we can use the same setting as your default setting for system created things on your journal. So like if you set this to followers only, then every new action that you take is going to be followers only. But I think it'll, I think the caveat there is that if you've saved the book to your library and the book is set to private in your library, then the journal entries should also be private.
Yeah, maybe we can just like default for that type of. So if the book is private, you won't have any option but the private option. And if you want to change
Mm,
that, you just have to set the book to public. So we just like disable the options that would not make sense, and maybe add a tooltip saying like you have to have this book set as private, and that's the reason why those are disabled.
yeah, yeah. I think that works, and we just have to
Yeah,
let them know in a tooltip why those options are or aren't available.
yeah, yeah. Maria saying each book will be different, and some, yeah, some books you'd want to share notes, some books you wouldn't want to share notes. That makes total sense. I mean, uh, even with the same book, maybe you'd want something shared with everyone, or like the other way around, like your account is public, you want to share everything, but this note you want to keep to yourself, so you just save it
Mm,
as a private note.
yeah,
That way it would be easy to, because everything is public, you just set it to private. The other way around, yeah, if you set, so if the privacy settings are more restrictive at the higher level, we should disable the privacy settings here in the entry.
yeah.
would
I
would that
think
make sense, like technically?
yeah, I think that makes sense. So if the user book is friends only, then you would only see follows and friends only for every journal entry on that book. But if it's private, then you would only see private for every journal entry on that book. And yeah, I think that works. It's also it would also probably cascade changes. So if you change your status for a book from public to private, it's going to make all your journal entries for that book private as well.
Yeah, that'd be nice, so you can just like you don't want anything, you've changed your mind and you don't want anything showing up, you can just like change the book status to private. And yeah, that'd be great. I see people like using that sometimes. You might be undecided. It's like making a whole photo album private.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay,
Cool.
that works well.
Well,
Surprisingly, like a lot of progress. Nearly figured this out. I think the last page we need to figure out is the like what happens when you go to all the entries, but
hmm,
that could just be like all of the entries with that design that we did underneath the book. So it can just be like an expanded view of that. And
yeah.
if we use the models, we can just like the quick add. I mean, we can just like have it either as a new page. So we'll just put that model component in a new page. So it's less, mm, restrictive, or just like have it as a model. I think that's, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be okay having it as a modal either from the currently reading page or the journal page. That way we can just reuse it, and it's just one way to add a journal entry, and it's through that. I guess
Yeah.
I guess if the last question on my mind would be if we want to change anything in the book button for this, like if we want to add either a link to your journal, if we want to add
Yeah.
either a link to quick add a journal entry, those would be the big ones.
Yeah, a quick add link would be nice. I was even thinking that the modal on mobile can turn into the drawer, since the drawer is kind of like a modal that, is stuck to the bottom. So maybe we can think about that as well. So instead of the quick add modal, you get like the drawer opening up and it has like the same content.
I think I think I like it as like a modal because that way it takes over the entire screen, and no matter where you click, except for the X, it won't close the modal.
Oh, okay,
With
gotcha.
with
So you're thinking no, like yeah, that's cool. So a model that takes up all the screen. Yeah,
at
I'm
least
a fan
on at
of
least
that.
on mobile.
Oh,
On
mobile,
desktop,
yeah,
it would
yeah,
be yeah,
yeah. I think we have that for reviews as well. For the review flow, we have something. We
yeah.
had
Like
Eve designed
search uses
something,
that,
and
and
search. Oh yeah, search uses that as well.
yeah, like the report duplicate modal also kind of takes over,
Mm,
and on
yeah,
mobile, it's full height width.
nice. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
more sense like that. Uh, yeah, and then in the book button, definitely a link, but I'm guessing we could like, hmm, let's see if we can design it so you're currently updating progress. Maybe you could quick add a note where you're at I mean, just like remove the possibility of uh, mm, going through, or maybe even like, yeah, you could even like when you click current progress, you could just go and add a note, and it could open up the modal and you could close it if you wanted. But it
Yeah.
would be like you could set the page where you're at, and it would just like be two taps. You open the book button, and then you go to the model. Let's see
Or
how it checks out. Yeah.
yeah, one option that came to mind as you're describing that is what if in the book button um there was something that's like reading journal, and then on the right we have like the badge for how many items you have in your reading journal for that specific book, and then when you click on, and it would be like reading journal dot dot dot, and when you click
Mm-hmm.
on that it takes you to your reading journal page, and then from there you'd still have to click quick add. But that way you wouldn't be able to quick add from the book button, which I guess it, but you would be able to get to your reading journal from the book button.
Yeah, that seems good.
Cool.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
just in time. Well, a bit over time, but yeah, I think we nearly figured it out. I mean, I'm hoping we have enough to make a UI for what you've worked on in the back end, and
Yeah, I think so.
I think we can figure out the remaining parts as we go along until next week, and yeah, maybe have it published so people can actually do that. Yeah, this is huge. I mean, it's good that we speeded this up. That, yeah, we decided to like implement that.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to get this out. I'll keep working on it, and we can see where things are at next week.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds great. Well, then I guess thanks everyone for joining Hardcover number 50. And yeah, we'll chat on Discord until next week.
See ya. Have a good one.
Sounds great. Have a good one.